Hi, welcome. So, sorry it took me a while to make this recording. Um, I unfortunately had a family emergency and I was not able to attend this week's meeting. I know these past couple of weeks we haven't really been able to be doing our meetings because I had a family emergency and then I ended up getting sick as well last week. And so these past couple of weeks have just been really off. So I'm really sorry about that. However, next week we will finally be back to normal. We will finally be able to go back to live meetings and participation, and just better, funner activities that I do have planned. Um, but welcome. I hope your week has been great, and I hope that you have been great. So if you want, you could pause the video and do this word search, and then also guess the Disney character. If you'd like, you can take a second to pause and then come right back. So we'll go ahead and um so sorry about that. Okay, so if you took time to pause the video and guess a Disney character, welcome back. So we will look at the Disney character. It was Boo from Monsters Inc. Um so today's agenda, we will have our warm up, then we will look at romantic poetry, and then we will also have our wrap up for the day. So, our warm up, which is present tense. Please pause the video, take some time to answer the question, and then we'll go over it. So, we are going to go get pizza. We got pizza yesterday, or we will get pizza tomorrow. So, which one do you think is present tense? So, welcome back. Thank you for pausing the video and answering. So it would be the first one, Snoopy. The right answer would be we are going to go get pizza. That would be our present tense answer. So next we're going to go ahead and move on to romantic poetry. So today we'll be talking about romantic poetry, and I don't know if you've ever seen this movie or heard of this movie, but it is called The Breakfast Club. The Breakfast Club was a popular movie back then. It came out about 30, 40 years ago. But it was a really popular movie. I know I have seen it because of my mom. My mom has shown it to me before, and it is a pretty great movie. So, what does The Breakfast Club have to do with romantic poetry? So, here, The Breakfast Club is really connected when it comes to romantic poetry. We have our criminal, and then the athlete, the basket case, the princess, and then the brain. And a lot of times we have these type of characters within stories, and movies, and we'll see them a lot. They are kind of similar. So today's learning objective, we will learn about romanticism and what influenced poets of that time period. That way we can recognize the influence of culture on author structure and the use of language. And then I know I have it when I can recognize the poetic devices and explain their use by their author. So romantic poets were the rebels of their literary period. I'm so sorry about that. My mic had gotten muted for a little bit. So romantic poets were the rebels of their literary period. They were like the Breakfast Club of British literature. They were misunderstood, bold, and determined to challenge the norms of their time. So, if you have not seen The Breakfast Club before, we have these five characters that end up getting detention um, on a Saturday at school. And these five have never really talked to each other. They go to the same school, but they don't really know each other. And that is because they're really all different. So we're going to look at these five and the um what is the word I'm looking for? The similarities that they have with these certain poets that we're gonna look at today. So first we have Samuel Taylor Coleridge, and that is Brian. He is known as the Brain. So Coleridge was super imaginative and loved exploring big, deep ideas in his poems. Kind of like how Brian from the Breakfast Club is the smart, brainy one who thinks deeply about everything. Both of them bring a lot of insight to their work. Coleridge uses his imagination to dive into mystical and supernatural worlds in his poetry, just like Brian uses his smarts to figure things out in the group. And then we have Lord Byron, which is John the Rebel. So Byron was a total rebel, just like John Bender in the Breakfast Club. He had a lot of confidence and didn't follow the rules of society. Both Byron and John are the kind of people who stand out because they're bold, edgy, and not afraid to shake things up, even if it makes them a little controversial. And then we have Percy Bysshe Shelley, which is Allison, the breakfast case, or the basket case. So we have Shelley had big, bold ideas and was super passionate about changing the world, kind of like Allison from the Breakfast Club. Both of them are a little mysterious and don't always fit in, but they have deep emotions and unique perspectives that make them stand out. Then we have John Keats, who is known as Claire, the princess. So Keats loved writing about beauty and emotions in a very detailed and delicate way. Just like Claire from the Breakfast Club is all about elegance and having a polished style, both Keats and Claire focus on things that are beautiful and meaningful, and they bring a sense of perfection and deep feelings to everything that they do. And last but not least, we have poet William Wordsworth, who is connected to Andrew the athlete. So Wordsworth focused on nature and believed in the power of staying strong and true to yourself. And just like Andrew from the Breakfast Club is strong and determined, both of them show what it means to be a reliable and hardworking, reminding us how important it is to keep going and be real. So we'll go ahead and skip this. This was something that we were going to do in live class. So today we're going to go ahead and dive into two poems by William Wordsworth, I Wandered Lovely as a Cloud and Lines Written in Early Spring. These poems focus on nature's beauty and how it connects to our emotion and struggles. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to identify imagery and tone in these poems and understand the message Wordsworth wants to share about nature and life. My bad, I accidentally went a little too far. Here we go. So here we have William Wordsworth. So he was violent. He was in a violent French Revolution. He was separated from his daughter during the war. Um, he had the death of his parents. Industrial Revolution. He craved simplicity and common life. Found comfort in nature. He was close to his sister, and he lived a pretty long life. So this is kind of just a little timeline of William Wordsworth and basically who he was and what he went through. So here we have one of his poems, which is called Lines Written in Early Spring. And I'm going to go ahead and read it to you guys. So I heard 1,000 blended notes, while in a grave I stayed reclined, in that sweet mood when pleasant thoughts bring sad thoughts to the mind. To her fair works did nature link the human soul that through me ran, and much it grieved my heart to think what man has made a man. Through promost truths in the green bower, the periwinkle trailed in whiffs, and this my faith every flower enjoy the air it breathes. The birds around me hopped and played, their thoughts I cannot measure, but the lowest motion which I'm so sorry. This is a little blurry. I'm just going to zoom into it real quick and then we'll continue because it's a little blurry and I can't really see the words. There we go. Okay. The birds around me hopped and played. Their thoughts I cannot measure, but the least motion they made. And seemed a thrill of pleasure. The budding twigs spread out their fan to catch the breezy air. And I must think, do all I can, that there was pleasure there. If this belief from heaven be sent, if such be nature's holy plan, have I not reason to lament what man was made of man? So we have the tone, we will discuss it. So is the poem happy, sad, or reflective? How does the tone shift between the peacefulness of nature and the struggles of human life? How does Wordsworth use nature to create joyful and reflective mood? So I want you to go ahead and take a second, pause, and then we'll come right back. So, um, if you said, I'm sorry, welcome back. Thank you for pausing the video. So, if you said that the poem was sort of a sad or reflective poem, then you would be correct. Um, we'll go ahead and move on. I really wish we would have done this in class, like, because a lot of these activities are in-person activities. So it really sucks that we couldn't do it in class due to a family emergency, but that's okay. Um, I'm really sorry that we have to keep canceling these meetings. So here we have another poem. I wander lonely as a cloud. However, this is really blurry, but we were basically just going to discuss what the emotions do to golden daffodils. What emotions do the golden daffodils bring out in the poem? But we'll go ahead and continue with that one. So this was also something, but I'll still ask you guys, and you guys can feel free to just, say it to yourself. So, what emotions or memories do these sounds evoke? Why might a poet focus on nature? So, take a second to pause the video, and then we'll go over it. So, welcome back. If you pause the video, thank you. So, what emotions or memories do these sounds evoke, and why might a poet focus on nature? So, beach waves, if you said that beach waves are more calm, relaxing, it makes you feel relaxed, peaceful, um, safe, then you would be correct. Those are the type of emotions that beach waves can bring up. For memories, if you said, like, for example, when I was a kid and me and my family went to the beach, those are some great memories. Memories um, don't really have a right or wrong answer because you're really the only one who remembers what happened. And then for hurricane winds, if you said, like, sad, angry, mad, anxious, depressed, those would be some emotions when it comes to the hurricane winds. And then I just want you to really think about the second question is why might a poet focus on nature? So next we're going to look at Samuel Taylor Coleridge. So he was a violent French Revolution. He was an industrial revolution. He was inspired by the rise in German philosophy and literature, wrote about mystical and supernatural. Nature is a source of inspiration and divine power. Poetry has mystery and the power of the human mind. addicted to opium, and died at 62. I'm really sorry about these slides. They are taking forever to go to the next one. And it's sort of running really slow right now. I don't know what's going on with it. Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm really sorry about this. My Wi-Fi has still been acting up these past couple days. I do not know what has been going on with it. Okay, perfect. So here we have key terms. Okay, what is going on with this? Okay. How did we get all the way to slide 39? Oh my gosh, okay. This is going to get annoying. I will not lie. We went all the way from slide 22 to slide 39. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, slide 22. Why does it keep going all the way back to 39? Ugh, okay, let me figure this out. In the recording, feel free to skip through this part if you want to, because this is like a whole minute of just waste of time with this app. It's taking forever. I do not know what is going on with it. It is getting annoying that it is doing this. Like, it's going back and forth just through different slides. Oh my gosh. And now somehow we're all the way at slide 47. What is going on? Again, if you are watching the recording, please feel free to skip through this part. I will let you guys know when we get to the slide we're supposed to be on. We're almost there. Okay. Okay, we're getting there. Okay, perfect. Slide 23. Okay. We already viewed slide 22. So let's see if it takes a second. There we go. Okay, slide 23. Okay, this is where you could stop from fast forwarding through the recording. We are finally on the slide we need to be. So we're going to analyze how Coleridge uses sound devices like rhyme and alliteration to create mood and rhythm in Kubla Khan. Sound helps make the poem feel magical and dreamlike. So a sample stanza from Kubla Khan. In Xanadu de Kubla Khan, a stately pleasure-domed decree, out that scarred river ran, through caverns measureless to man, down to the sunless sea. Um, so we read that. So take a second to pause this video and answer these questions. What do you imagine happens in a place like this? And why do people create such places in their minds? There are no right or wrong answers to this. Feel free to pause the video, answer, write it down, and unpause, and we will continue with the next slide. So welcome back. So we have another question. We have a bright sunrise and a dark storm. Again, there was no right or wrong answer to this. Feel free to pause the video and answer and come back. So which image speaks to you more today and why? Feel free to answer, write it down on a journal, or type it out, and then you can unpause the video. There is no right or wrong answer to this. It is just your own personal opinion or thoughts. So, welcome back. So, next we have romantic ideals and individuality, which is Brian and Shelley. So, we are going to look at these two next. No, it skipped a slide. Okay. Go back a slide. There we go. So, we have Violent French Revolution. And so, this was Percy Bysshe Shelley. And I do not know if I'm saying that middle name correct. I hope I am, though. So we have Violent French Revolution, had radical socialist and anarchist views, atheists who rejected religion, expelled from Oxford for writing a pamphlet on atheism, Freedom Revolution, Pursuit of Truth, Scandalous Life, Left Wife for Another Woman, Mary Shelley, who wrote Frankenstein, drowned at age 29, and Mary Saved His Heart. So this was what Percy Shelley went through. So Lord Byron was described as mad, bad, and dangerous to know. What kind of person do you think he was based on this quote? So feel free to pause the video, go through your thoughts, and then come right back. All right, welcome back. So next we're going to look at Lord Byron. He was a brutal Napoleonic Wars, themes of rebellion, freedom, political figure, and supported the Greek War for independence. He was inspired by his travels. Byronic hero, rebellious, brooding, flawed. He wrote about wild landscapes. He was notorious for his scandalous love affairs, including a half sister. Was described as mad, bad, and dangerous to know. And he died at 36 while fighting in a Greek war. So, next we have our key terms. We have figurative language, symbolism, structure, sonnets, and stanzas, which are some key terms when it comes to poetry. So, today we're going to look at two famous poems by romantic poets, Byron's When We Two Parted and Shelley's Ode to the West Wind. In Byron's poem, we'll analyze the tone of grief and betrayal and see how the structure affects the speaker's emotions. And in Shelley's poem, we will look at how he uses the wind as an extended metaphor to represent revolution and change. By the end of the lesson, you'll be able to explain how these poets use language and structures, powerful ideas, and feelings. So, looks fun. So here we have When We Two Parted. So when we two parted in silence and tears, half broken hearted to several for years. Pale grew pale grew thy cheek and colder thy kiss. Truly that hour foretold sorrow to this. The dull of the morning sunk chill on my brow. It felt like the warning of what I feel now. The vows are all broken, and light is by thy fame. I hear the name spoken and share in its shame. So we'll go ahead and skip through the questions only because, like I said, this was something we were supposed to do within the meeting. So we have title and symbolism, Ode to the West Wind, which is a symbol for the power of nature and of the imagination inspired by nature. So seasons are 99.9% of the time symbolic. So we have autumn line one of Shelley's favorite motives, time of beauty and death, and simultaneously creative and destructive. So next we have poets choose colors carefully. So we have line 4, yellow, black, white, and hectic red. So we have passionate and intensive nature of the poet, and decay of death in fall season. Then we have an extended metaphor. The speakers invoke metaphors from nature to characterize his relationship to his art, his link between nature and art, and he guess hope if winter comes, can spring be far behind. So, a metaphor is when you describe one thing as if it were something else to show what it feels like or remind someone of it. For example, instead of saying, I'm sad, you could say, my heart is a heavy stone. The metaphor paints a picture of this feeling. So, if you could capture this image in a poem, what words would you use? Feel free to pause the video, write this down on a journal, and then come right back. So, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that little activity. So, next we have a romantic poetry reflection. So, next we have John Keats. He was a violent French Revolution and Napoleonic Wars. Death of his parents and his brother, obsessed with mortality, Industrial Revolution, was inspired by nature and past, wrote about nature, beauty, and mortality, knew he was dying. Here lies one who I cannot see that. Um, Sorry, give me 1 second. Here we go. Here lies one whose name was writ in water. Then he suffered from tuberculosis, died at age 25. So those he died at a pretty young age, but those are just some things about John Keats. Um, so today we'll explore two poems by John Keats that show his ability to combine beauty and sadness in La Blood Dame Sans Mercy. We'll analyze how the ballad structure and vivid imagery create a tone of haunting sadness. Then we'll look at the first stanza of Ode on Melancholy to discuss how Keats uses paradox or opposites to show that joy and sadness are connected in life by the end. You'll see how Keats captures the complexity of human emotions in his poetry. So here we have Ode to Melancholy. So no, no, go not the lethe, neither twist. Was Spain tight rooted for his poisonous wine, nor suffer thy pale forehead to be kissed by night's shade, ruby grape of porcine. Make not your rosy of you berries, nor let the berry, nor the death moth be, nor mournful psyche, nor the downy owl, a partner in your sorrow's mysteries, for shade to shade, while will come too drowsily, and down like the wakeful anguish of the soul. So that was one of John Keats' poems. So next we have our wrap up for today. I know this one took pretty long. I think the majority of it though was my Wi-Fi. So we have our wrap up. So which would be correct? I want $40, I want $40, or I won $40. Please feel free to pause the video, take some time to answer, and then come right back. So welcome back. If you guessed that the right one was the second one, I want $40, then you are correct. Congratulations and great job. So as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. You have my email and then my Instagram. Those are just some of my contact informations. And yeah, that's about it. Again, I'm sorry that we had to cancel this week's meeting. Next meeting, we will be back to actually having live meetings and discussing, which I certainly cannot wait for. So as always, any questions, please feel free to get in contact with me. Let me know. For our next meeting, I do not know what we would do yet, but I'm figuring it out. So yeah, but I hope you guys have a great week, um, a great night or a day, depending on what time it is in your crane right now. And I will see you guys soon. So bye.